I was hiking alone up in the Tetons, and the trail that I was following was running by this small lake, and on the other side was this very thick wooded area with lots of underbrush. And up ahead was this clearing, and I heard this thundering noise, and crashing out of the clearing was this massive moose. And he turned and he started charging right at me. And I had the lake on one side and I had the woods on the other side, and I knew I couldn't outrun him, and I just froze. And the moose, he saw me, and he was startled to see me as I was to see him, and he came with a screeching stop just feet from me, and we were both just staring at each other. And very slowly, without taking my eyes off of him, I raised my foot and I stepped back. And without taking his eyes off of me, he raised two legs and stepped back. And I raised my other foot and stepped back. And he raised his other feet and stepped back. And I raised my hand, and he raised his hoof. I was amazed, and I smiled, and he smiled. And moose have really big teeth. Well, I turned and kind of gestured that I was going back, and he gestured he was going back. And as I was walking away from him, I realized, oh my word, I am a moose whisperer. It just blew me away. I was up all night thinking about it. And finally, early in the morning, I walked out of my trailer and the campground, and there he was waiting for me. But he wasn't alone. He had a squirrel with him. And the squirrel was really nervous, and the moose kept gesturing towards me, and the squirrel became very shy, and finally Moose took his nose and he shoved him towards me, and I immediately dropped to the ground because I didn't want to overwhelm him with my size. And it took some time, but the squirrel kind of opened up and relaxed, and through a lot of gestures and pantomime and squirrel chatter, he was able to actually communicate with me that he was suffering from nut gathering envy. And this, no matter how many nuts that he gathered, all the other squirrels were gathering more, and it's really affecting our self-image. And so we were able to come to a place where we agreed that it's not the number of nuts that make the squirrel. And as he left, I realized I am not a moose whisperer. No. I am a wildlife counselor. And all the rest of the time that I was there, the animals, wherever I went, on the lake, hiking, and the campground, they would come to me, and we'd have these sessions. There was a deer, there was a family of fox and some beaver, there was even a buffalo. Now the buffalo, we had several sessions together because, you know, with the history and all, we had some trust issues we had to overcome. But it turned out to be just really a delightful experience. But I did have to leave. I had to go home. And so after some tender goodbyes, I hitched up the trailer, I drove home, and next morning I opened up the blinds to my window in my bedroom, and there was a moose staring at me. And it wasn't the same moose. This was a cousin, 27 times removed. But she and I, we had a really good session together, and it really travels fast. The word travels fast among the animals, and soon I had all these animals coming to my back door. And I wondered if this, I guess you'd call it gift that I have, if maybe, you know, it translated over to domestic animals. And so I tried a couple of sessions with some dogs, but all they did was throw the ball. So I just decided I was just going to stay with the wild animals. And of course, it didn't take long for the neighbors to realize something was going on. There was the noise and the mess, and I got a call from the homeowners association. I met with the board, and they had legitimate complaints. But when I explained to them what was happening, at first they were really excited. That only lasted so long. There's always the yards. They were just being ruined, and the pets were running and chasing the small animals, and then they were being chased back by the big animals, and there was always that uncertainty as to whether that wolf or that coyote that was trotting down the street was looking for me or looking for a free lunch. So I finally, with the help of a a forest ranger was able to designate some counseling sites up at the Uintas, and I keep regular hours. Winters are slow, of course, hibernation. But now that the weather's starting to kind of turn, and I'm quite busy. I really am. But I do want you to understand that I am well compensated for my services. I have a constant supply of berries and fish and nuts and roadkill. I'm having a difficult time trying to convince the coyote that I really don't need any more roadkill. But I've got to go. Like I said, it's a busy season, and I've got a group session coming up with a bear, a deer, a porcupine, and a bat. And the bat, well, I can't go into details, confidentiality. But for now, let me just say, good thoughts and woo! From me to you.